self-love, something that I'm so excited to talk to you about. It's something that I'm really deeply passionate about because it is the key to unlocking your greatest potential. When you make the link between how you feel about yourself and your internal worth to what you can attract in your outer world, things become really exciting. It is the foundation, the non-negotiable foundation of not only attracting and increasing your net worth, but maintaining that. I'm going to be showing you how self-love can move from some concept that we don't really understand what it means to a tangible daily practice. Something that you can show up for, something that you can increase and improve on and get better at. And with it, everything else in your life will increase in a really positive and inspiring way. So first of all, what we need to understand is what self-love is not. I get a lot of fears in my client work around, if I love myself, will people think I'm arrogant? If I love myself, will people think I'm a narcissist? We need to move away from this. It's a real misunderstanding. People that really deeply love themselves are a great asset not only to their own personal life, but to the world around them. They're kinder, they're more empathetic, they're more generous, they're compassionate. We actually live in a world where there's an epidemic of not only people not loving themselves, they actually really don't even like themselves. And that has a ripple effect in the world. The best thing that you can do for the world is love yourself and create from that pure, energetic place. Because that is really how we heal and inspire and move and empower and motivate. And I know that that's really important to you, as it's for me. And I know wholeheartedly, because I've done it, that when I started to love myself, it was as simple and as complicated as that. Everything changed. And my capacity and desire to help other people went through the roof. Whereas when I didn't love myself, I was so empty. I didn't really have anything to give. I was very, very self-consumed. So let's just dive in and talk about tangibly, how can we love ourselves? And I just want you to imagine it, the practice being the word. So it doesn't matter if you're doing meditation practice, if you're doing gym practice, just use it as a practice. Self-love is something we can practice. And I'm going to break it down into things that you can start right now. Remember, we don't have to wait to feel good. We have that available to us in the present moment. So the first is forgiving ourselves and self-compassion. We're humans, not robots. Therefore, we get things wrong. We misjudge things. We don't always do the right thing. Because we're always learning, and we get triggered and we get pulled back into old stories and we act out. But actually a big part of healing that, whilst it might be easy to go into the inner criticism, is by forgiveness and compassion. So the forgiveness is saying, I forgive you that you didn't get that right. I forgive you for not being perfect. I forgive you for misjudging that. Finding the compassion, what I can see about why you were doing that, the highest intention was actually because you were feeling insecure, you were feeling scared, you didn't know what to do. Whatever it is, find the higher calling, find compassion, find the light. And then you can embark on a program of change and improvement. But it's really hard to do that if we don't first have the forgiveness and the self-compassion. The second one is to look after your body. So, and also I understand this because I went through burnout, but a lot of the work that I've done with ambitious, driven people is actually just really making self-care and taking care of their bodies and making time for themselves a priority. Because when you're ambitious and driven and passionate, by nature, you could work every single hour. I get that. And you might not prioritize the other things that you need. But remember, long-term stress and exhaustion not only scatters your energy and makes you less efficient, it has serious health consequences. So part of loving ourselves is really honoring this beautiful, delicious body that we're in and taking care of us, making sure that you get enough sleep, taking breaks, making time for self-care, making time for pleasure and other people. So another one is learning to receive. So if you've got a desire, but but actually you've got a block about receiving it, guess what's going to happen? You're going to block it. So actually part of becoming and increasing our net worth, increasing our capacity for love and connection and fulfillment and pleasure is we've got to get really good at receiving. We've got to get really good at allowing ourselves to experience pleasure and joy. We've got to become a vessel so that the things that we want can come to us and it can increase, and then we can have that progress through joy. So the other one is learning to say no. So anxiety is an all-time high, and the reason why we're all so stressed out, overwhelmed and anxious is because we're not using the power of no enough. Now, it doesn't need to be something brutal, we don't have to be mean, but we are allowed to say no. And I think that first no needs to come from ourselves. Saying no when we go into overextending ourselves, saying no when we actually mean yes, saying no and then feeling resentful. And then, as with anything, when you practice it with yourself, it becomes much easier with other people. So the other one is allowing yourself a voice. So this is really, really key if you want to live out your fullest potential. Because it doesn't matter if whatever you're sharing is your art, or you're writing a book, or you're creating a song, or you're an activist, or you want to be a CEO. Part of those roles are going to be becoming a beacon of light, allowing yourself to be visible, allowing yourself to be seen, allowing yourself to be known. And there's no way past that other than sharing authentic voice. When we're inauthentic and sharing things that we think people will like, or we're doing it to be popular or to accept or to belong, or because we don't like ourselves, again going back to self-love, it's obvious to other people. They may not consciously know it, but they are picking up on your vibe. So a big part of this is feeling the fear, having the courage to allow yourselves to be seen, to put yourself in environments when your voice can be heard, and to really back yourself up and really connect with your right to have a voice. We all have a right to have a voice, even if in the past, you've been bullied, you've been criticized, your dreams have not been supported. Be willing to heal those stories. Have compassion for yourself. Say, I understand how I feel about that, and be willing to heal those stories and allow yourself and reprogram yourself to having the permission to allow yourself to be seen and be visible, because otherwise that starts to erode your confidence and your self-esteem. So the next thing is kind of directly leads from that. You need to have your back. People will say things about you, and we can't be diverted off our path every 2 seconds because one person said this, or we're getting offended because of this, or we're going to stop doing what we want because this person says this, right? And a key part of that is if you don't have your back, you are going to be so afraid of what other people think about you that you will not live out your greatest potential. So you need to treat yourself with utter kindness, positive self-talk, really getting behind your mission, understanding your why intimately, and be unwavering in your focus of what is important to you, what matters to you. Because then in those moments when we don't feel that other people approve of us, when we approve of ourselves, people can't really get in. Criticism can only really get in when we have got chinks on our armor. When somehow their words resonate with either an old story or how we feel about ourselves. Be so full of faith that fear has got nothing to grip onto. And we do that by really, really being utterly, utterly kind to ourselves. And again, this is something that we can practice on a day-to-day basis. And you'll know when you're not being kind to yourself because it feels bad. It feels bad to criticize ourselves. It feels bad to make ourselves small. And you'll know when you are practicing self-love because it will feel good. It might feel uncomfortable or unfamiliar, but it will deep down feel good. I know that you can do this. Practice this daily. Things will shift and change and increase your net worth. Sending you so much love.